Hello friends, it is the start of a new year, so let's do a what I have done project-wise recently look through. My last project check-in was kind of just detailing over my excessive stash and what I kind of wanted to do. Erwin, who will be very judgmental towards us, but he always is, so we can just sit down and have a cozy little chat and review. With the sewing stash, the few projects of sewing I did film. I did Quiltmas 1, 2, and 3, did not do a Quiltmas 4, but those will be found in an iCard above. I also was able to do a vintage pattern for a blouse that will also be found in an iCard. I will get better at that pattern, mark my word. But with the yarn projects, first I have this enormous hat. It does encompass the bun. I have large buns, large hair, so wanted to make it super floppy, able to encompass that, and it works. And it is that fold over on my ears, so it keeps my ears extra warm. Ta-da! I really like the ridiculous multicolored pom-pom. This was, of course, a stash busting project. I used, I think, 1 ball of black and 1 ball of cream. I made up kind of my own design to do this. The thing about this though is because it is color work, it has all these carry-throughs. If I do have a lot of pins in my large bun, the pins get stuck. So even though I really like this hat, keeps my ears very warm, very useful hat, this is 2 balls down. I used 1 more ball of, I believe this is like the super bulky Wool Ease Thick and Quick, to make 2 little headbands. These are crocheted instead of knit. I think that I used an H hook. This, I think I did 48 stitches, 8 rows up, and I believe this is a half double crochet. And I just made that 1 line, then did the foldy thing to get that like tie in the middle. I really like how it turned out on this one. It's really nice and poofy. This one I kind of just tacked the edges down so it still gets that nice big puff. This one, it does not puff very well, but it fits better, like it fits a lot more snugly on my ears, but like you can barely see that decorative knot, which I think this, like, I prefer the fit of it better, but I really prefer the look of the thicker one better, so I'm not sure if I want to give this away to somebody, but I don't necessarily need 2 of these. See, this is really loose on me, but I like the look of the knot on this one better. Let me know what you would do down in the comments. The next finished object that I have is this is the autumn sweater. I don't think that I can pronounce the name of the designer appropriately, but it is super cute. I did screw up on it though. Crochet is not nearly as stretchy as knit, so even though I've done color work in crochet before, choking up on your floats in crochet is not detrimental. In knitting it is. So on my first few rows of the color work right down here, I did not leave nearly enough slack, and that's, you know, the widest part of your shoulders. It just wants to inch up just a little bit to right here. Realistically, it's not that bad, but it does kind of create a little bit of bunching around my neck, but I corrected later and it is so warm and cozy. Like I showed you in the knitting plans video, I pulled out 6 balls of yarn for this, and I used 4 balls, so this is 4 balls down, which is progress. It's just, I thought that it was gonna take more, and now I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. Like, do I want to make a matching hat? I don't want to make a matching hat now. What do I want to do? But after finishing that for Christmas, I also decided to play, can I make the child an entire blanket sweater but by the time that Christmas rolls around. I started that sweater the day before Christmas Eve. Was really intending to like get really on it, and the day before Christmas Eve and get as much as I could out. I got like 3 rows in and fell asleep. That pretty much led to every free moment I had on Christmas Eve and on Christmas, I was crocheting. I was crocheting this sweater. I took 2 days to make it because that's all I gave myself. I did give it to the kid on Christmas. That I can confidently say 6 balls. I feel like that definitely got me back into like, okay, we can do some crocheting mojo. And my dad told me that my stepbrother had a baby very close to Christmas and they were going to go down to see the baby and stopping by my house. It's on the way since they will be stopping by my place before going to see the baby. Thought that I would crochet a little baby blanket. This is just kind of like a granny stitch star in blue with like the white border and like a little white kind of detail in the middle of it. I personally really like the granny stitch with baby blankets because it is very, very open. Human infants are equipped with the absolute minimum required software to sustain life. Like, they just flail their arms, and if they accidentally flick a blanket onto their face, there is a genuine hazard for suffocation. Having a really open weave pattern for a baby blanket is a must. But that is 2.5 balls down. Since I kind of got bit by the crochet granny stitch baby blanket buzz, I made another baby blanket for a friend who is about to have a baby too. Obviously, they are having a baby girl. Realistically, I would give this to a boy or a girl. I really like this color of yarn. This is the Bernat Softy baby color in pink rainbow. Once again, babies equipped with the absolute minimum basic software to sustain life. They can't see, and it's one of those things, like, they can see black, white, and red, so they would be able to see this border and then maybe some of the darkest pinks. To think that if you give this to a baby and then slowly over time they start to realize that it contains more colors and keep making those new discoveries. The best part about having a baby is watching them discover the world, and that intrigue and tenaciousness when they know that they can make that new sound. It's just, that's the best part of having a baby. Obviously, Bernat baby, super easy to wash. It splits real bad, but I really feel like it's worth it for this result. It's just super candy coated cuteness. And this is 2 balls of the pink rainbow and the other half of that white ball that we used on the other baby blanket. So I think that wraps up the finished projects that you have not seen. I have another baby blanket. So this is just a double crochet star instead of the granny stitch scar that I just have in a little project bag. Might take that to work to just chuck away at in meetings. Another thing, I knit this hat. The thing with this hat, I started it on the center knitting machine. I thought that I could add ribbing to it. That, however, involves me needing to do, you know, a super stretchy bind off, and that stretchy bind off is not super. This is just going over my bun. This is not going over my head. That's not going to work. I feel like the only thing that I can really do is frog the project and redo that stretchy bind off. Am I actually going to frog it, or am I going to wallow in my own self-pity and frustration? But I really like this project bag, and I cannot use this project bag if it is being occupied by a project. So I am going to see if that will trick me into doing something to finish this project. My final work in progress to show is a sock. That's it. This is all the sock there is. What this first sock progress attempt is telling me is that I know how to do short rows in theory, but not actually in practice. I have attempted and frogged and attempted this heel like 3 times. I'm not giving up on socks. The reason why I started knitting was because I convinced myself that I wanted to knit socks, and I'm not giving up. I'm going to become a sock knitter. It just hasn't happened yet. I'm going to be one though. So now for the last part, the unfortunate part, acquisitions. So in my last projects video, I said that it was in a soft no buy, and by soft no buy, I meant I was going to try to only buy things deliberately for projects. I broke that. I was wanting to knit a tank top bralette, that kind of breezy summer top. My bad. But it is only 2 that I acquired. So we are down so many and up 2 of those on purpose. This is not my fault. So we had a live-in babysitter. Things happened and we all came to the conclusion that we did not have any more use for a live-in babysitter. The live-in babysitter went home. They did leave a lot of their belongings, including some crafty things like canvases and paint, but also a ball of yarn. I can tell that this is some sort of ombre. It's already been balled up. It starts with blue, then you can kind of see purples under there, and a little bit of pink pokes through, so this is an ombre of some sort, but I don't know what colors it's actually going to work up into. I feel very obligated to get rid of this ball of yarn. But let me know what you would do with this down in the comments below, along with any questions, comments, or concerns. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell icon so you know when I do post. Usually it's Fridays, but not every Friday. Like always, thank you so much for watching. Stay happy, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time. Bye!